Hi everybody, welcome to Live Blogger. In this tutorial series, we are building this slider using HTML, Tailwind, CSS, and JavaScript. Now in the previous video, we designed the UI and this is how it looks. Now in this video, we will add the functionality using JavaScript. So let's get started. Now before getting started with the functionality, let's go ahead and bring this content to the center, just like we have in the original design. So let's do that. Let's go back to our source code and let's see which is the division. So I think this is the div for this content. So here, after the padding, let's go ahead and tap flex and flex direction to column. And let's also type justify center. And now we can see that the content is in the center. Right now, let's go ahead and start with the functionality. So let's go back to our source code. Let's go to our main.js file. And first of all, let's go ahead and create a const called slide data. Let's set it equal to an array of objects. Now in this object, we need to have an ID. So let's set it to 1. We'll have an image. And for the image, let's tap images / and we have these images 1, 2, and 3.jpg. So let's use that over here. Let's have 1.jpg. And then we have the badge. So let's tap badge. And for the first badge, we have this text, limited edition. So let's add that over here. And after that, we need to have a subtitle. So the subtitle is this one right here. So I'll just copy this. And let's tap subtitle. Let's add that over here. And after that, we need to have the title. So let's just copy this and let's tap title. Let's paste it over here. And the awk disk should be on the next line. So we will add a line break. So I'll just tap BR. And then we need to have a description. So I'll just go ahead and create a new key called description. And let's go ahead and add the description over here. And after that, we need to add the button text. So here we have this text called explore design. So let's tap button text, explore design. So this is the first slide. Now in this way, we need to create all the slides. So I'll just quickly go ahead and copy and paste the data that I have. All right, so here I have copied and pasted all the data for the slides. So we have 3 slides over here. Now let's reference some of these elements from the HTML. So first of all, we need to reference the slider container. So if you scroll down, here we can see this is the slider container. So we have an ID of slider container. So I'll just go ahead and type const slider container equals document dot get element by ID. And let's type slider container. And then we have these dots over here. So for that, if you go to the HTML file, if you scroll up, here we have the dots container. So let's also reference this. So just type const dots container equals document dot get element by ID dots container. And then we need to reference the previous and the next buttons. So these are the previous and the next buttons. If you go to the HTML file, here we have this button with an ID of next btn, and here we have this button with an ID of priv btn. So let's use that. I'll just type const priv btn equals document dot get element by ID priv btn, and let's tap const next btn equals document dot get element by ID next btn. Right now, let's go ahead and create a function to render all the slides. So let's tap const render slides, and in this function, let's go ahead and set the inner HTML of this slider container. So here we have the slider container, and in that we have all this HTML content. Now we're going to generate all of this using JavaScript. So I'll just cut all of this from here. And let's go back, and here let's tap slider container dot inner HTML equals, and we need to map through all this data inside slide data. So let's type slide data dot map, and let's call each of these slides slide. And here I'll just add backticks, and let's add the HTML over here. So I'll just paste the HTML. Now here, instead of these hard-coded data, we need to add the variables. So we can access each of these properties using slide. So the first thing we need to change is the src of the image. So here, let's go ahead and type $, curly braces. And here let's type slide dot image. And for the alt, let's go ahead and remove this. and let's tap dollar symbol curly braces, and for the alt we will use the badge. So here we have all these data, we have image, badge, and all these things over here. So we're going to use each of these. So let's tap slide.badge, and if you scroll down here we have the actual badge text. So I'll just add that over here. I'll just tap dollar symbol curly braces slide.badge, and after that we need to have the subtitle. So here let's tap dollar symbol curly braces slide.subtitle, and then we have the title over here. So let's type dollar symbol curly braces slide.title, and then we have the description. So I'll just delete this and let's tap dollar symbol curly braces slide.description, and then lastly we have the button text. So here instead of explore design, let's tap dollar symbol curly braces, and here let's tap slide.button text. Now let's go ahead and run this function. So we have this function called render slides. So let's run this function over here. And now if you go back to our design, here we can see that all our content is displayed over here. We have all the slides displayed. We have this gap over here in between these slides. That's because we have this comma. So for removing the comma, we need to go ahead and join all of this. So here we need to type .join empty strings. So now we can see that we don't have the commas. Alright, now the next thing we will do is we will add the dots. So let's create a function called init slider, which will initialize all the settings of the slider. Now in this function, first of all, we will just go ahead and generate the dots. And for generating the dots, we need to first of all get the number of slides. So let's type const slides equals, let's type document dot query selector all. And if we go over here to this HTML, we can see for each of the slides we have this class of slide item. So we can simply count how many slide item classes are here. So here let's tap dot slide item, and let's tap const total slides equals slides dot length. So this will give us the number of slides. Let's create one more const for the current index. Let's set it to 0 by default, which is the first slide. Right now here I'll just create a comment. I'll just type generate dots, and let's type dots container dot innerHTML, and first of all we'll just clear the existing data, and then we will just go ahead and loop through all the slides and generate the dots. So let's type slides dot for each, and here let's go ahead and type const dot. So just create a new element. So let's type dot equals document dot create element, and we'll create a button element for the dots. Right now let's add some classes to the dot to make it look like this. So let's type dot class name equals. Now if we go back to our design, we can see that some of these dots have different styling. So the active dot has this style and the inactive dots has this style. So let's use backticks and let's type height of 1.5. Let's add transition all so that we have this smooth transition for different styles of the dots. And let's type duration of 500 milliseconds, rounded full. Now by default the first dot should be active. So let's type dollar symbol curly braces, and here we need to access the index. So for the first argument I'll just type underscore, and for the second argument we can just type index. So this will give us the index. So let's go back over here and let's type if index equals 0, then we'll set the width to 8 and background color to gold, and here let's add an else. So let's type colon, and here we'll set the width to 2 and background white with 20 opacity. Right now let's add these dots to the dots container. So let's type dots container dot append child, and let's add the dot over here. Now let's go ahead and run this function called init slider. Now if you go back to our design, we can see that we have these 3 dots over here, and the first one is active. Right now the next thing we will do is when we click on this next button, we will make the next dot active. So let's go back, and here when we create these dots, let's also add event listeners to them. So let's type dot add event listener, and let's listen for the click event, and here let's type arrow function, and we'll create a function called scroll to index, and we'll just pass the index. So now let's go ahead and create that function. So let's type const scroll to index, and we'll get the index over here. Now when we click on these dots, we also need to move these slides. So what we will do is we will use this scroll to index function for the event listeners of the next and the previous buttons as well. So for updating the dots, I'll just create a separate function. So I'll just create a function called update dots, and I'll just pass the index. Right now let's create the function. So let's type update dots, and here we get the index. Now the first thing we need to do is we need to update this current index constant. So let's go ahead and type current index equals index. So whatever you pass over here should be set as the current index. And then we'll just go ahead and update the styling of the dots. So I'll just copy this. And let's scroll down, and here let's loop through all the dots. So let's type dots dot for each. And I'll just call each of these dots dot. Let's also get the index. I'll just call it idx. Here I'll just paste the code. Now here, instead of checking whether we are on the first index, we need to check whether the index is equal to this idx. So let's type idx is equal to index. Right now we need to reference the dots. So we are using the dots over here, but we haven't referenced it over here. So let's type const dots equals dots container dot query selector all, and the dots are basically buttons. So we can just type button over here. So this will select all the buttons inside the dots container and add it to dots. So now we can go ahead and update the styles of the dots. Right now let's go back to our website, and let's click on the second dot, and the second dot is not being active. So let's right click and go to inspect, and let's go to console, and here we can see we have this error. So if I click on this second dot, we have this error that uncaught type error assignment to constant variable. So let's go back, and this is basically a constant. We need to change it to let. So now we'll be able to assign values to this current index. Let's go back and let's click on the second dot. Now we can see that the second dot is active, and now the third dot is active. So it is working all right. Right now let's go ahead and add the functionality of the next and the previous buttons. So let's go back, and here let's type next btn dot add event listener. Let's listen for the click event, and here we'll just create a const called next index. Let's set it equal to current index plus 1, but we need to make sure that the current index doesn't exceed the total number of slides. So in our case, it should not exceed 2 because index starts from 0. So we have 0, 1 and 2. And then if you click on this next button once again, it should go back to 0. So for that we can use this modulo operator, and let's type total slides. We already created this total slides const over here, and then we'll just go ahead and type scroll to index, and let's pass this next index. Right now if you go back to our website, and if I click on this next button, we can see that the next dot is being set to active. Now let's do the same for this previous button. So I'll just copy this and paste it down here. Let's change this to prev button, and here let's change this to prev index. Let's do that over here as well. Now here we need to subtract from the current index. So let's type current index minus 1. Now here we'll also add the total slides so that we don't get any negative value in this. So for example, if we are on slide 0, we don't want the index to go to negative numbers. So that's why we are adding these total slides over here. And then we have the scroll to index. So let's see whether this works. Let's click on this previous button, and it is working all right. Alright, now the next thing we need to do is we need to display the actual slide. So when we click on this second dot, we need to display the second slide over here. So let's go back, and here inside the scroll to index function, first of all let's create a const called card width. Let's set it equal to slider container dot offset width. So this will give us the width of the element, and then we can use this scroll to function. So let's type slider container dot scroll to, and here we need to pass the scroll to option. So let's type left. Let's set it to index times card width. So if the index is 1, then it will scroll to the next slide, and if the index is 2, it will scroll to double the width, which will take us to the third slide. And let's also type behavior smooth so that it smoothly scrolls to that position. Now for this to work, we need to add some CSS to our slider container. So let's go back to the HTML, and this is the slider container. Let's add some more CSS over here. So let's type overflow x auto. This is the horizontal scroll, and let's type no scroll bar to hide the scroll bar, let's type snap X. Let's also type gap of 0 so that there's no gap between the elements. So let's go back, and now we are able to go to the next and the previous slides. And with that, we have added the functionality of the next and the previous buttons. Now let's also add an event listener for the scroll. So let's go back and let's go to the main.js file, and here let's type slider container dot add event listener. Let's listen for the scroll event, and here let's create some constants, and I'll just call it scroll position equals slider container dot scroll left. This will give us the position of the scroll right now. And let's type const card width equals slider container dot offset width. Right now let's create a const called new index equals math dot round, and let's type scroll position divided by card width. Now this line of code will give us the current index where the slider is. So it will give us the values from 0, 1 and 2 in our case. And let's add an if condition, and let's type if new index is not equal to current index. So even after scroll, if you are still on the current index, then we don't need to change anything. And let's type new index is greater than or equal to 0 so that we don't have any negatives. And let's type new index is less than or equal to total slides so that we don't exceed the total number of slides. And here let's call the function called update dots, and let's type new index. So this will make sure that the dots are synced correctly with the slider position. So now let's go back, and if you go to the second slide, we can see that the dot changes to the second slide, and when we go to the third slide, the third dot is active. So it is working all right. Right, now the last thing we need to do is when we scroll to the right, we can see that we are not snapping to one of these slides. So we are able to stay in the middle of two slides. So let's fix that. Let's go back to our HTML, and here for the slider container, let's type snap X and snap mandatory. And inside our JavaScript file, let's go to the HTML of the slider. So here we have the HTML of the slide, and here let's add snap to center. So now if you save this, and if I go back to our website, and if you go ahead and scroll to the right, we can see that we snapped to one of these slides. We are not able to stay in the middle of two slides. So with that, we have completed adding the functionality of our slider using JavaScript. So that's basically it for this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below. And if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.